Welcome to Does Virtual London. I'm happy to be here with you again virtually, talking about COVID. Sent you home, now what? My name is Rosalind Radcliffe. I'm IBM Distinguished Engineer responsible for DevOps for Enterprise Systems. And this time I'm happy to be presenting with Jen. Jen?
I'm Jennifer Velasquez, Worldwide DevOps Leader for Enterprise Systems, and get the luxury of working with customers around the world on DevOps. So when we look at what we do working with customers around DevOps, we do value streams. Value streams meant that we worked with clients to understand what their current state was and move to a future state. With that, we traveled to their location. We met with them face to face. We built collaboration in a conference room. It was full day. It was lots of work, but it was focused. We had an opportunity to build trust. We had an opportunity to see who was engaged, who was committed to moving forward, who were going to be the obstacles. You got to read the audience, and you had them for the whole day.
It was a great experience. I had the opportunity to introduce people to other people within the companies that they'd never met before, which is a little bit strange, but a good thing. People really got to work together. People within the same companies got to meet each other that had never had that opportunity before. It was a different kind of experience. We got some clients telling us at the end of the day, it was a very cathartic experience. They really learned from each other and could understand each other's experiences. This gave us the opportunity to build that relationship, that additional work with the client, between the client and with us to help them on this journey. But with this kind of experience, and we can't get to see them, we can't get on a plane and fly anywhere, how are we going to do the same thing? How can we get anywhere near that kind of experience? And we had a number of workshops scheduled to go. How do we walk through this process? And how long is this going to last? The first question was, could we just delay? That wasn't going to happen. So we had to figure out how to do a virtual workshop and how to do this in this new world that we were in.
So we started breaking things down. First thing was, in our workshops, we sat at a whiteboard. We captured information. We had live cues in order to tell us what to do and how to progress the day. Lots of information to get through, but we had everyone in that room was able to do it. That wasn't going to work. We moved to virtual. So the first thing was input. When you think of WebEx or Zoom or anything else, PowerPoint seems to be the first thought. But if you move to PowerPoint, you miss that engagement factor. You also preset what the stage is. So that wasn't going to be an option. We moved into looking at various tools that gave us the whiteboard capability, but that gave us an opportunity to keep things collaborative. The other option that we looked at was questionnaires. Well, we could get some of that preliminary information to help with from a time frame standpoint if we were to get all of this information up front. But if you go back to what Rosalind talked about in terms of building the trust, if we are simply soliciting the information, we don't get an opportunity to have that two-way communication, to build the trust element and to be able to assert, that leadership into the room. So ultimately, we decided that questionnaires were a no.
Tools. This is where we had an interesting challenge. How on earth do I get my whiteboard? I always stood at the whiteboard and I would write. I would write what the clients were telling me. I would draw pictures based on the flow that they were describing. And by doing that, we got that really fast feedback that I had captured it wrong or I hadn't heard correctly. We'd get that, well, that's not really how we do it. Oh, wait a minute, we have that other tool. I needed a whiteboard. So the first thing we looked at was, could I get an iPad app? Could I show my iPad and could I write on it? So I had to get a pencil. Okay, that was the first step. Now that I had a pencil and I could write on my iPad, how could I do this? What was I going to do? How was this going to work? And remember, this is customer information. We have to pay attention to customer security. So I can't just share information to some app somewhere and put it in their cloud. We found a couple of apps and experimented with them and tried them. I could write on them. Okay, that sort of worked. But then how do I capture the information? This used to be multiple pages of whiteboards. Well, pictures of whiteboards that we would take through the meeting. I needed that kind of space, and that wasn't going to work. So we had to find something that would provide the security necessary and give the option of that just whiteboard. So we got to Mural. We have Mural within IBM, so I could use it. We had the secure data location, and that met one requirement. I could draw on it. The other advantage of Mural was I could use it on my iPad. I could still be on WebEx on my computer, and the clients could see it. They could see what I was showing. They could see what I was writing. They could get that feedback. And then I also had the option of pre-putting pictures there. So based on what they said, I could put a picture to represent something that we had to start out with. We could start out with some information in the picture.